The object of all life is development. Everything that lives has an inalienable right to all the development it is capable of attaining. Each of us has a right to life. This means that the right to have the free and unrestricted use of all the things that may be necessary to our fullest mental, spiritual, and physical unfolding. In other words, our right to be rich. Hey, welcome to day 3 of our 90-day challenge, where I will be giving a series of talks or lectures or podcasts, however you want to view this. But this is just for the listeners to simply listen along as I go through these 90 days and give a random talk each day. And today, I'm going to be covering goals. But before I can cover goals, I have to share with you the foundation of where your goals need to be built from. And if you're a person that wants to protect your old beliefs or your paradigm, your old way of thinking, then today is going to rattle your cage a little bit. So I hope you're ready. And let's go ahead and jump back into it right where we left off. To be really rich does not mean to be satisfied or contented with a little. You ought not to be satisfied with a little if you're capable of using and enjoying more. The purpose of nature is the advancement and development of life. Every individual should have all that can contribute to the power, elegance, and beauty and richness of life. When you own all you want for the living of all the life you are capable of living, you're rich. You cannot have all you want without plenty of money. Life has advanced so far and become so complex that even the most ordinary man or woman requires a great amount of wealth in order to live in a manner that even approaches completeness. You naturally want to become all that you're capable of becoming. This desire to realize innate possibilities is inherent in human nature. Success in life is becoming what you want to be. You can become what you want to be only by making use of things. And you can have free use of things only as you become rich enough to buy them. Therefore, an understanding of the laws of the universe and the science of getting rich is the most essential of all knowledge. There is nothing wrong in wanting to get rich. The desire for riches is really the desire for a richer, fuller, and more abundant life, and that desire is praiseworthy. There are 3 motives for which we live. We live for the body, the mind, and the soul. No one of these is better or holier than the other. Each is desirable. And neither body, mind, nor soul can live fully if one of the others is cut short of full life and expression. It is not right or noble to live only for the soul and deny mind or body. It is wrong to live for the intellect and deny body and soul. We are all acquainted with loathsome consequences of living for the body and denying both mind and soul. That is an excerpt from The Science of Getting Rich. And before I jump into our actual talk, I want to give you one more segment from The Science of Getting Rich, which is written by Wallace D. Wattles. I highly suggest you go check that book out. It's not just about money. It's so much more than that. And if you get caught on the title, then I ask you to review your beliefs around those things, right? If you're the person that heard me talking just then and your negative voice and negative self-talk started kicking in saying, oh, that's not right. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's blasphemy. Hey, look, you can't judge a book by its cover. How many times have we heard that? You're only getting a fragment of the picture and you're leaving your negative beliefs to determine an outcome that you haven't even arrived at. Just something to think about, right? So let's go ahead and jump into the second part of this. You must get rid of the last vestige of the old idea that there is a deity whose will it is that you should be poor, or whose purpose may be served by keeping you in poverty. God loves you and wants you to live an abundant life. The intelligent substance, which is everything and lives in everything, lives in you. It is a consciously living substance. Being a consciously living substance, it must have the natural and inner desire of every living intelligence for the increase of life. Every living thing must continually seek for the enlargement of its life because life is the mere act of living, must increase itself. A seed dropped into the ground springs into activity, and in the act of living produces 100 more seeds. Life, by living, multiplies itself. It is forever becoming more. It must do so to continue to exist. Intelligence is under the same necessity for continuous increase. Every thought we think makes it necessary for us to think another thought. Consciousness is continually expanding. Every fact we learn leads us to the learning of another fact. Again, that's an excerpt from The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. With that being said, and we have our foundation now, let's build on top of it. Today, we're talking about goals, and we're talking about bold goals. I want you to go back and listen to the excerpts that I just read from. Whenever we finish this, go back and listen to it, because those things that you just ran up against, possibly, because even myself, when I first picked up this book, I had such a negative association to the information it was giving me that I couldn't receive the message that it was giving me, right? I had my perspective, which outweighed the message it was trying to give me. Today, we're talking about goals. If you're going to set a goal, you have to make it a goal that's worth reaching for. A real goal isn't something you know you can achieve. It's something you've never done before, something that calls for the best within yourself. I want to talk about type C goals. This is not something that I originated. Now, is it something I've expanded upon? Yes. But if the information's good, don't reinvent the wheel. And I'm not trying to aim to do that today. I started learning more in depth about goals 4 years ago. And for 4 years, I have been in the pursuit of trying to better understand what a goal is so that I can fully encompass it. You know, sometimes we just hear all these YouTube gurus and people on Instagram or TikTok, whatever it is, that tell you to set a goal or write a goal, and they don't have the faintest goal idea of what a goal is. You don't know how to achieve a goal until you've achieved the goal. So it's just this process of becoming. It's a constant pursuit, and it's not something that you continuously get right. But I aim to share a different side of information with you today. I aim to really shift your perspective on how you're setting goals. So I learned this from a gentleman named Bob Proctor, and he talks about 3 types of goals. You have a type A, a type B, and a type C goal. And we're going to really aim at the type C goal today because, again, the purpose of a goal is not to get something. It's to become the person that can have those types of things. I'm going to repeat that one more time. A goal and the purpose of a goal is not just to achieve a thing or accomplish something. If my goal is to buy a second or third property, if my goal is to increase my business revenue to $100,000 a month this year, if my goal is to be a 6-figure trader every single month, whatever it is for you, just fill in the blank there. I can't just automatically have those things because I wrote them down on a card, right? There's always something that comes after. Everyone just stops at write the goal down, print out the picture, and that's it. No. that's a part of the process, but it's not the whole process. The purpose of the goal is who you become in the process. You have to become the type of person that can have those types of things. And that's what I'm going to share more with you today. So I'm reading from a workshop or a workbook that I've made specifically for myself. It's not going to be found. It's not public knowledge. I've built off of some information I've had, and I just made it so it was easier to understand and comprehend. So I really hope that it resonates with you as well today. So setting a bold, inspiring goal that pushes you beyond your current limits and connects you with your deepest desires is a multiple part process. It doesn't just stop at writing something down. This goal should elevate your emotional state and help you grow into a new version of yourself, right? We're transforming, we're transcending our old thoughts, our old beliefs, our old ways of thinking, what we thought we could do, right? It's not what I know I can do, not what I think I can do. It's exploring the unknown, as Wallace D. Wattles said, that fuller expression of life that's always seeking its way through you. You're already designed in such a way. The same energy that's in the acorn that turns it into an oak tree is lying within your side of yourself. You will never really understand, and I hope that you do. So, don't let me limit you here. But there's so many human beings on this earth that will go to the grave and not understand the potential that they had locked up inside of their body. And that's what I want to help crack open for you. The same energy that is flowing in the acorn that can turn it into a 40-foot oak tree is lying dormant right now within inside of yourself, waiting for fuller expression to come. And the only way that it can be done is what we already have. We were given dominion over the things of the earth, right? Not to go completely biblical for some of you, but I'm just going to speak from what I know. We were given dominion over those things. So our ability is something different. It's our ability of free will to choose that thing inside of us, to desire more, to want more. And everyone just writes it off at desire, right? You hear the word desire and you're like, oh no, that's a no bueno. You're not supposed to desire things. Wrong. Who are you listening to? Like Wallace just said, how can you better serve the kingdom or the universe or God if you aren't allowing fuller expression to seek itself through you? Oh, so good. All right. So the first step in this process is reflection. When we're talking about setting a big, bold goal, something that gets you outside of yourself, take a moment to reflect on your current desires. What is it that you truly want but feel is beyond your current reach? I'm asking that question to you. What is it that you truly want but you feel is beyond your current reach? Allow yourself to dream without restrictions. Take off the limiters, take off the governor right now, and just allow yourself to dream. There's some people who've never really allowed themselves to write down everything that they want because they're still living within the limitations of other individuals that aren't even around anymore. They had such a strong effect on the way that you think and the way that you process that you're still living within limitations of someone who doesn't even think about you. So I want you to escape that right now. So what is it you truly want, but you feel is beyond your current reach? And I want you to allow yourself to, again, dream without restriction. Don't worry about how you're going to achieve this goal. Use your imagination. Imagination is the greatest gift of all. Again, think of a playground. And I'm not even a video game player, but I'm going to make a video game reference. But there's like things called free worlds in video games where you can go and just create anything that you want without having the restrictions of the in-play game, if I'm saying that correctly. And I want you to go to the free world thinking right now, where you get outside and start to use your imagination and get creative. And here's some questions I want you to reflect on, right? Because again, this is about reflection. What is one thing you've always fantasized about but never pursued because it seemed impossible? Okay, well, again, let me repeat that. What is one thing you've always fantasized about but never pursued because it seemed impossible? The second thing is, if resources, time, and circumstances were no object, what would I create or pursue? And now that's going to be a tough one for some people, because you're going to be thinking, you're going to cap your ability to write goals down at your current circumstances. Your circumstances do not dictate the ability to have free thinking. If you let your free thinking be controlled by your circumstances or your resources or your time, there's no way that you're going to be able to allow that infinite potential, that infinite possibility to find its way through you. You know, there is something so much greater than you realize trying to express itself outwards through you right now, but you're limiting it because you're getting stuck on your current circumstances. Current circumstances, not your forever circumstance. So, what would you create or pursue? What goal, if achieved, would completely transform your life in ways that go beyond material success? I'm going to repeat that one. What goal, if achieved, would completely transform your life in ways that go beyond material success? And I'm going to give some examples and stuff in here as well. So, here's a good one. I now own and manage a successful global real estate business that allows my family and me to travel the world freely while giving back to communities in need. Hey, so I'm now thinking outside of my current circumstances. I have plenty of resources. I've now factored in the time thing, and now I'm adding in the fourth thing. Would completely transform my life in ways that go beyond material success. So for me, that's giving back. I've now incorporated all four of those things into the example just then. And the key to this is writing it inside the present tense as though it's already a part of your life. You want to create those emotions and be able to paint a vivid enough picture that you can start to live inside of those emotions inside of your body. And I'm skipping a process and we're getting into visualization, and I'll kind of rein it back in just a second, but I want to talk about that. When I would write goals down, I would have no emotional attachment to it whatsoever. There would be no emotion that would drive me to want to become the type of person that could achieve those types of things. And it wasn't until I started this process that it really shifted, because as Van Gogh says, I dream my paintings and I paint my dreams. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Van Gogh said, I dream my paintings and I paint my dreams. That's how we should be pursuing our goals. We have the process so backwards. We're trying to paint a dream, but really we already have the dream. We just need to paint it out. Paint out that image. And I want you to be as vivid in detail as possible, because there's something when I was going through this that, completely transformed how I was doing it before. I would stop at like something as simple as this. I have a Porsche 911 and I drive through my favorite mountain pass in Idaho. That would legit be my goal. And that doesn't sound bad, for someone who maybe has not done goals before. But let's step beyond it. I should be doing something like this. The emotion that I feel when I get into my car is this sense of pride that I've achieved everything that I set out to do. It's not just getting in a car, it's getting in something I've always dreamed about. when I crank up the car, the way that it vibrates because the exhaust is so loud that it wakes up my neighbors. And yeah, they get a little annoyed with me, but it's fine. It only lasts for a couple of seconds. And as I go down the street, shifting into first, into second gear, hearing the engine rev up and rev down, there's no feeling like it. Being able to roll down the window as I turn left onto the street and having the wind hit me in the face, and smelling the air of them coming off the mountains, and like that. Now look, I'm taking you on a journey and you're actually being able to visualize that with me. The images are starting to pop into your head, and that's where so many people fall short. We just stop at, I want a house, I want 3 cars, I want a higher paying job. Okay, how can the infinite potential hand you that if you're not conveying that thing to it directly? You're just stringing words along and trying to form a sentence when you should be painting a picture so that it can impress upon the picture that you're painting. Okay, that was so good. And here's another thing that really transformed my goal setting process is I have 2 types of goals. You have a personal goal and you have a professional goal. I would try and do this, like conglomerate all of it together. But the purpose of a goal is you want to have one thing that you really are focusing on. And like I say make a top 3 inside your personal and your professional. Like I have a top 3 inside of personal and I have a top 3 inside of my professional. I still allow myself to dream as big as possible, but then I weave out the stuff and find 1, 2, 3 in personal, 1, 2, 3 in professional. I know I just beat that over the head, but having a personal and professional helps you separate the categories where you don't feel like if I'm just combining it and then I tell you to choose a top 3 or a top 1, you're going to be stuck on, I don't know what I want. That's going to, that's a topic for another day because there's a way to solve that issue as well. However, having a personal and professional helps so much. Let's go into this over here. Just a second. Sorry, everyone. All right, boom. So clarify your vision. Now, this is kind of what I was talking about. This is step 2 in our process. So we've allowed ourselves to dream big. We've asked ourselves some questions. We got outside our limitations, outside of our old beliefs, and now we're getting into clarifying your vision. So I want you to visualize your future. Imagine yourself having already achieved your big, bold goal. How does it feel? What does your daily life look like? Now, I had heard this before, but I never really pondered and took it serious. Don't be the person who hears something good and then that's all you do is you hear something good and then you go on to the next good thing. Wrong. Don't just hear it. Hear the thing, and if it's good, I want you to spend time on it. Reflect on it, right? That was me with goals. Instead of just stopping at writing the goal down, I wanted to dig deeper into what a goal is, how it works. And there was so much that I uncovered in this process of allowing myself to dig deeper into it. Not just stopping at the thought of a good idea, but then acting upon it and making use of it. So what does your daily life look like when achieving these goals? How will achieving this goal change your emotions, your habits, and your mindset? Who else benefits from your success? How? And here's a pro tip for you. Add sensory details to make your vision more vivid. For example, what does freedom feel like in your body? Oh my goodness, this is so good. Pro tip, you ready? Add sensory details to make your vision more vivid. For example, what does freedom feel like in your body? Is it a lightness in your chest or a sense of spaciousness around you? For example, when I think of freedom, I imagine standing on a mountaintop with a cool breeze blowing against my face, feeling the weight lift off my shoulders as I look out at a vast open landscape. Clarifying what it is you're feeling allows you to get to that place. The purpose of having a goal is not to have it written on a piece of paper and then look at it once a year when the time's right. Not the purpose of a goal is not to write it down on a piece of paper and then look at it once a week or once a month and then review it at the end of the quarter and say, that didn't work. You are you are embodying those emotions of the person that you want to become. And you can become that person now without having those physical things. Again, we think it's the actual physical attainment of something, but it's the emotions that those physical things are going to create within you that you actually crave. So what does it look like for you? How does that feel? And doing something like when I'm creating, what does freedom feel like? It's a lightness in my chest. I feel a tingling in my hands. I get jittery from my head down to my toes. I get excited and I pace back and forth. I'm starting to create actual physical, emotional, daily anchors for myself of where I can, when I tap into those things, when I think about my goal, I can create that feeling. Oh, so good. When I'm thinking about my goal, I can create those feelings for myself. And then let's go ahead and run into our step 3. And just to go back to step 2, that was clarifying your vision. Again, is imagining yourself if you've already achieved your goal. How does it feel? What does your daily life look like? And adding that detail. And then step 1 were our questions. It was what we were reflecting on. Taking off the limiters, taking off the governors of what we think is possible for ourselves, allowing ourselves to escape our limitations and old beliefs and tap into our infinite potential. And now we're getting into step 3. Write it down. Okay, write your bold goal down in clear, concise language. Use the present tense to reinforce the idea of what that is, as if it's already a part of your life. I now own and manage a successful global real estate business that allows my family and me to travel the world freely while giving back to communities in needs. The more specific you are, the more powerful your goal will be. Include details like locations and emotions and the people around you. That was such a big change for me, is when I was like, I want to travel the world, to I want to travel the world with my wife, to I want to travel to Switzerland, India, Thailand, South Africa. I just named these places. And then I took it a step further. When my wife and I travel to Switzerland and we get off the plane, the moment I step off, I'm hit by the crisp mountain air hitting my skin, and I can feel the chill going up my arm and the freshness of the air. And then as I'm walking down, as we're getting off the plane and getting in the car, our Uber driver is sharing with us all the different locations and the best places to go that are not just tourist attractions, and some of the best places to eat. And we have some of the best conversations. And when we're finally getting to downtown, unpack our stuff at our Airbnb, and it's so beautiful. It's everything that the picture said. This is 3-bedroom, two bathroom place. It's a little bit bigger than what we needed, but it was so necessary. Look, I'm taking you on a freaking journey right now. It went from I want to travel the world to I want to travel the world with my wife to I want to travel to this place, and this place, to now I'm adding in and being concise with my language. Instead of just stringing sentences together and hoping that the universe, God, can impress its infinite potential upon the thing that I'm painting, right? Or just impress its infinite potential upon a string of words. I'm letting it impress its infinite potential upon a clear painting of what it is that I am currently doing. I'm creating those emotions within myself along the way. That was step 3, right? So we're writing it down, we're being clear, and we're being concise with our stuff. But let's go ahead and jump into step 4. Affirm your commitment. Below your written goal, create a commitment statement. This is a promise to yourself to take action no matter the challenges that come up. Example, I am fully committed to this goal. I will persist, adapt, and grow into the person I need to become to achieve it. Make your commitment statement an affirmation that you can repeat to yourself on a daily basis. So if you need to make it shorter, I am resilient and resourceful. I will find solutions to any obstacle that stands in my way. Being able to affirm these things to yourself isn't just something that's, cheesy. It's meant to replace stuff as well. If there's something that someone says that's negative, instead of letting your negative self-talk respond back to that person, just repeat the affirmation yourself in your mind. Any time when I was really getting into affirmations that I found the opportunity to use it, I did it. Someone said something to me negative, repeat my affirmation. Have a negative thought, repeat my affirmation. And so if I can't listen to music or I'm tired of the music that's playing, I'm just repeating my affirmation to myself. I am resilient and resourceful. I will find solutions to any obstacle that stands in my way. You're consciously saying that, but what you're really doing is you're drilling that belief of the type of person you are into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is what gives the action orders to your body to go and do things. So it goes conscious, subconscious to the body. Your body therefore relays those things into actions. So what are you consciously putting in your body, right? So we're consciously intaking information, saying things to ourselves. We're subconsciously storing information, creating beliefs and ideas of the type of person we are, the type of things that we can achieve that then go to our body, which then transfers into our action. That's the power of your affirmation. It's just not stringing some sentences together and then, hoping you get it right. No, there's a little more to it. And I want to share some 1% tweaks with you. As you're writing these goals out, I want you to turn it into a meditation for yourself. And if you're the type of person who's saying, I'm not good at meditation, good. That's the whole point of doing meditation. It's not to be good at it. It's a process. It's something that's meant to be uncomfortable. It's something that you're supposed to sit and dive deeper into. When you can build this clear image of what it is that you want for every step in the goal, every step in the process, and then sit down inside of a meditation and you're just visualizing inside of your meditation these images, these ideas, the places that you're going, the people that you're going to meet, the things that are going to happen, how everything falls into place for you, the type of person that you're constantly becoming. You're wiring your body with a whole new set of beliefs, right? You're reprogramming what you know, not what you think, but what you know. So review your goal card daily, review your type C goals, read it frequently. Bob Proctor says, write your goal down, keep it in your pocket, and then at any time that you get a chance, pull out your goal card and read it down. And you aren't just reading, again, a string of sentences. You should be so detailed and in depth that every time that you read your goal card, it's not words that you're reading, it's images that come across your mind. It is light images that are flashing across the screen of your mind and being impressed across your subconscious mind, which then go into your body. And what you're doing is there is a thing called the law of vibration. And look, I swore up and down I didn't believe in that stuff when I was getting into this type of thing. But that is a real deal Holyfield type situation, y'all. The law of vibration, you attract what you put out. But it's not, it's again, you attract what you put out. So what is it you're putting in to put out? What is it that you're putting into your subconscious mind to put into your body that your body's going to put out into the world by the way that you talk, by the way that you carry yourself, by the way that you dress, by the way that you eat, by the way that you act, by the people that you hang out with, by the information you consume, by the stuff that you watch, that you're going to put out that type of vibration to attract those equal opportunities, right? Well, you want to talk about equal opportunity. What type of opportunities are you equaling out to? So, review those things. Review the images that you're impressing upon yourself. What you want is waiting for you right now. And that, if it is a limiting belief, if you immediately just said to yourself, no, it's not. That's not possible. I guarantee you what you want is waiting for you to get on the right frequency to achieve it. It's like dialing a phone number. I can call a person in Indonesia right now if I have their phone number. By typing in the right digits, it'll radio up to the satellite, go out to the person's phone, and we're connecting on the same frequency. If you can do it with a phone, you can do it with your body. You do it innately every other day. Think about all the times in your life where you were thinking about a person, then all of a sudden you get a text from them. Think about you were wanting some food, and the next thing you know, someone brings in some stuff from lunch or from the break room, and there's the food that you wanted. Or you were wanting the certain days off, and you didn't say anything to anyone, then all of a sudden you got all those days off. There's so many times in life it has provided you with the belief that you need, but you just took it and looked right freaking over it. All right. Incorporate small actions aligned with your goal. Identify daily habits that move you closer to your goal and integrate them into your routine. What are those things that you can be doing every single day? That's a whole different, that's workbook 2 in this process. And if you want workbook 2 and you've actually listened this far into the podcast, let me know and I will drop workbook 2 on this, which includes our action steps. I didn't forget about what actions you should be taking. I'm just going over just a small portion of setting goals. We haven't even gotten over the whole kit and caboodle. That's what I'm saying. There was so much more to goal setting than I was giving acknowledgement to. And I hope you're getting some value from this as well. And if you are, please comment down below and just let me know. I appreciate it. And I would comment back. We'll talk back and forth. And I'll even just privately record you an episode if you want on taking action. And then track your progress. Celebrate your wins. Celebrate all your wins, your small wins. Reflect on any steps you've taken that show you're moving in the right direction. There's a part 3 in this series that I've done that's called quantum stacking, where we start to stack and track these things that are all these alignments and stuff. As you've written your goals, you've started impressing the images, you're starting to embody these emotions, you're doing the meditations, you've set your action steps. Then all of a sudden, you're going to start realizing how things are starting to connect because you're becoming the person that the infinite potential has always been seeking itself through you for. Oh, so good. All right. Our conclusion for today. Setting a bold goal is the first step toward transforming your life. And by continuously refining your vision, practicing emotional reinforcement, and committing to daily progress, you will align your actions and energy with your future self. You're in the process of becoming the person that we're always meant to be. I'd always think to myself, I don't know who I'm supposed to be. I don't know what it is I'm supposed to do. And it's so funny because I'm telling myself that. No one else is telling me that. God's not telling me that. The universe isn't telling me that. I am the one telling myself that. I already have a perfect image of the type of person I need to become now. not 10 years, 15, 30 years down the road, but I already have steps that have been given to me. It's just up to me to act upon those steps. Oh, so good, right? Take a step in his direction and then he'll match you step by step. If you were given a vision, the God, the universe has already laid the way. He has already walked ahead of you and cleared the path. He's just waiting for you to continue to step in his direction. I had to clap 3 times on my desk for that one. So I'm not begging you, but I dare you to embrace the unknown of this thing. If you've just kind of haphazardly set goals, I want you to dig deeper because you just have zero clue what you are really, really capable of. I heard my friend Stephanie told me one time, she said there was like this eagle, and I'm not going to remember the name, but it could spot something a quarter size at 700 yards in the air moving. And that's just incredible because like you and I can barely spot something 75 yards, that's moving. And this thing is spotting something 700 yards away up in the air while it's flying. That's the size of a quarter or your thumb. The same thing that is inside of that is inside of you. The same thing that takes an acorn to a 40-foot oak tree is inside of you. Life is always seeking fuller expression. It's just, are you willing to get in alignment with it? Are you willing to allow it to operate through you? Life isn't happening because of you, right? It's happening through you. You aren't the center of this thing. You are a medium. You are a means to an end. If you don't do it, someone else will. How many times in your life have you come up with a genius idea, you didn't act on it, and then you saw someone else do it? I call it like the waves in the pond thing, right? The waves in the pond, you're the rock in the center of the pond. The waves come out towards you. The wave bounces off of you, and it doesn't bounce off of you right away, right? It builds up momentum and then it splashes back down off of the rock. And the momentum building up is the idea seeing if it can impress itself upon you before going outwards to another source. Come on, so good, y'all. All right, look, if you've enjoyed today's lesson on goal setting, please let me know down in the comments. If you've listened this far, you are for sure an OG. And thank you for letting me share this with you. It takes me a second to kind of get in that groove and we get flowing. But everything that I just talked to you about is something that I've developed and built upon. I've gotten information. I didn't stop at just a good piece of information. I decided to dive deeper into it and make it for myself, right? If it's not out there, go create it. I feel like I'm just dropping gems at this point. All right. Thank y'all again for tuning in. This is day 3 of 90 days. So I can't wait to see where we're at the end of 90 days. And yeah, I will catch you next episode. Until then, peace.